Hey, it's Rob Hefner here for the town of Pinetop-Lakeside for Talk of the Town, hanging out here in the town hall, and it's a snowy day outside, day after Election Day, and I have with me Councilmember Jerry Smith. How are you, sir?
Hey, good morning. Glad to be here. Roads are already slippery a little bit.
They
today.
are, and we can announce that you were actually returning to town council.
That's correct. There was a primary election that of 4 people.
Yes.
I was the last one. Mm-hmm. So the top 3 were selected in the primary, and then Jennifer Brimhall, unfortunately, I say for her, I really feel for her, had some health issues, said she was advised to not accept that position on town council.
Right.
So I had received a majority of the vote.
Right.
Even though I didn't win, I had, with the way we calculated, I had gotten a majority. So that qualified me to just step in,
yes,
if you will, for that spot. So now I've been here 8 years. I'll do another 4.
There you go. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about you. We've covered a couple other council members. And so now it's your turn.
Okay.
So talk to us a little about your family background.
I grew up in Colorado. Small town, about the size of Pinetop. Nice. So, what goes around comes around. I ended up at Pinetop, and I really love the size of this town. But again, it can grow. So I grew up in a little town called Rocky Ford in Colorado, which is famous for its cantaloupes. Graduated high school there, went to Colorado State for a short time, went to New Mexico State, got a degree in mechanical engineering, and worked as an engineer for several years, became a professional engineer, and went back and got an MBA at Colorado State, and went to work for Hewlett-Packard. And then with Hewlett-Packard, I was fortunate enough to be on the marketing team that was in charge of marketing to real estate people. And so the really smart people at Hewlett-Packard came to me and said, okay, if we design a small handheld calculator, what do they have to be able to do in real estate? And it was the HP 12C. Mm-hmm. Believe it or not, that was in about 1977. Mm-hmm. They still sell it.
Yeah, they do. They sure do.
It was really an important thing. And I had Mr. Hewlett and Mr. Packard called me about 10 years after we had finished with the calculator, and they asked me if they could have my calculator. It was number 2. Wow. And they wanted it for their museum, I guess, or whatever.
Nice.
So that was nice. That was part of my career. And then I got into real estate later on, and after my stint with Hewlett-Packard, and been in commercial real estate until I retired about 2005.
Awesome. So talk a little bit about your family.
Okay. Family, I've been married to my wife, Karen, 56 years now.
That's phenomenal.
And a half, 56 and a half, I guess. So, a long time. We have 2 children. Both of them are overachievers. One is a honors graduate from the United States Military Academy at West Point, class of 96. And he spent 12 years, did not take his full 20 because his wife decided that he would be better raising her children than she was. Yeah. So he left the military, went into civilian jobs, worked on oil rigs and so on and so forth, and ended up franchising seminars for leadership and how the academies teach leadership.
Nice.
So he's been very successful at that, and he bought a franchise to do that. My other son is a tenured professor. He has a PhD in exercise science and is doing research in exercise and Alzheimer's. And he's getting quite a name for himself, being asked to speak a lot, and he does lots of papers and reports, or not reports, but studies, scientific studies. So he's finding that exercise, even in moderation, they can measure the change in the brain when you do exercise. So
wow.
Everybody out there, do your walking.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So talk a little bit about your hobbies, your passions.
Oh, right now, we used to hike a lot. We don't hike anymore. My wife has a couple of knees and back surgeries, so that's kind of out of the question right now. But I like to fish. I like to, we do a lot of some catch and release, and the fish that we do catch and we don't eat, the eagle gets our fish at the nature center.
There you go.
Yeah, so that's a passion of mine. The other is off-road highway OHV riding. Since we can't hike anymore, we get out into the forest and out into the backcountry, and some of the most beautiful land and country you could imagine is out there, available on forest roads. We ride in Arizona mostly, but we go to Utah and ride. We go to Colorado. We've gone to South Dakota, New Mexico, different places to ride, and we've learned a lot about trails there. And we'll get to the Arizona Alpine Trail probably when we talk about some of the organizations that I'm affiliated with. So.
Yeah, well, go ahead and talk about that a little bit.
Okay, yeah,
so
the Arizona,
because that's sort of community service and things like that. Your previous community service, obviously, been on the council for how many years?
8 years.
8 years, and 6 as vice mayor.
6 as vice mayor.
Yeah. Okay. So talk a little bit about the Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona Alpine Trail is a 501c3 corporation, and it is partnered with the National Forest Service. We deal with Apache Sitgreaves Forest, the Coconino Forest, and the Tonto. And the reason that we do that is that this trail is about a 750-mile loop trail that goes from Payson to Hannigan Meadow and back.
Nice.
And it doesn't go through the towns that are between those two. It doesn't even start in Payson. It starts outside of Payson. But it connects to 18 of the little communities, and I call Pinetop-Lakeside a little community. That's one of them. Taylor, Snowflake, Eager, Alpine, Young, Forest Lakes. I'm sure I missed some here, Payson.
Yeah.
But it helps the economy of the communities because it's bringing people that love the mountains and have never found a place to ride. The good part is that we think we can suggest anyway, trails that people will follow so that they can enjoy the mountains and not destroy by riding places they shouldn't ride.
Right.
And the Forest Service likes that. We are partners with state parks. We're partners with the Forest Service. And one of the things that we are doing is a master plan, which will be a blueprint for the National Forest as to where the trails all connect and are. And right now we have been able to get an initial trail that is all on National Forest land. We do not go on tribal, we do not go on BLM, and we do not go on state trust land either.
Wow, nice.
So we only have one real land manager, if you will, to deal with on that. And so the master plan is a big document. It's a book about an inch thick that provides all the information on the trail. And the Forest Service will use this when it's completed to do alignments of our trail, do additions to our trail, do corrections to our trail, improvements to the trail, maintenance, enforcement, and all of those signage, all those kinds of things will be in the master plan. And a company named Logan Simpson is creating that master plan for us, and they're not inexpensive. So the cost of that master plan is in the neighborhood of $400,000 for all the work that they have to do on it. And we got a grant from State Parks and Trails for that. We do some matching of hours, but most of it is money directly from state parks. Right. And they get their money from the OHV stickers. You have to have a $25 sticker every year on your OHV, and they are the repository of a majority of that money, and they like to use it for funding 501c3s in particular, right. Also towns and community, government, but mostly state nonprofits, which we are. And that opens a lot of doors for us as far as the Arizona Alpine Trail. You mentioned other community services. I've been on council for 8 years. Before I was even on council, I was involved with Save Our Park, which wanted to buy Woodland Lake, which was an impossible dream at that time.
Yeah, no, never going to happen.
No, it was $1.6 million.
Way pie. It was pie in the sky kind of thought that stuff. It wasn't.
So we started raising money, and sure enough, we got a benefactor.
Yep.
And that lake is now part of Pinetop-Lakeside. We're really excited that we did that. That was a great accomplishment, and same scenario is happening with the rest of the Woodland Park. 430 some acres in that. So I've been involved in Save Our Park for a long time. I've also been involved and on the board of directors of the Senior Center. Now the Community Center, we kind of did a doing business as name change for that to more closely reflect what we do at the Senior Center and the Community Center. It's
I find it kind of funny that everybody says we don't need to use term senior. No, we don't need to use, but then everybody just calls it the Senior Center, even though it's now the Community Center.
It's the Senior Center.
So it's almost like we sort of like, no, that's what it is. It's okay.
Every time I say Senior Center, I correct myself and say Community Center. But it's kind of the Senior Center, and they serve really good meals. And the town participates every month. I ask the town staff and the council members to help me serve lunch on Fridays, not Fridays, but on the days when the Senior Center has a lot of people, which is, believe it or not, Liver and Onion Day.
How about that?
That's a big deal for
I grew up
people.
with that, so I kind of get it.
Well,
Other
so many
like,
people...
What the heck?
Yeah, really. So many people like liver and onions, but they don't cook it at home.
Yeah.
So so I've been involved with that. In that regard, I was also chairman of a NACOG, or Northern Arizona Council of Governments Committee, which was the advisory committee to the AAA of Area Agency on Aging.
Yes.
So I was chairman of that for 2 years. Got in, it's kind of a subset of, or a overview set of all the senior centers around northern Arizona. That was a nice thing that I could do for them. And then also, I'm chairman of the Advisory Council for Transportation. We have a great little bus system here. And it goes, we have two systems. We have one that goes from Pinetop to Show Low through Walmart, of course. And then we have another one that goes all the way up to Holbrook, and it connects to the Greyhound bus depot.
Right. So
you can actually get on our bus, ride it up to Holbrook, get on Greyhound, and go anywhere in the United States. So it's a great thing. It's supported by the small towns that the bus lines service, and most of the funding is from Arizona Department of Transportation.
Very cool.
We couldn't do it without that help.
So what brought you initially to Pinetop-Lakeside?
Pinetop-Lakeside was my vacation place. back in the day when my kids were little. We would come down here from Colorado and spend our 2-week vacation in the White Mountains. My wife's family had bought a summer place in Porter Mountain Estates, and we'd go out there and every summer. And we as we were aging, we decided that this was the place for us.
Nice.
Okay, and so we actually came up here. The first time was about 1967 was the first time that I came up here. And ever since then, we've just kind of had our eyes on Pinetop-Lakeside as a place to retire. When we were retired, we bought a place up here in 1995.
Nice.
Little trailer, and we loved it. And we bought land and built a home in Woodland Hills, and then sold that. And we now have a new home that we built not far from the town hall. I can throw a snowball and hit it.
Nice. Now, all that time you spent here, what's your favorite thing in Pinetop-Lakeside?
Just the outdoors. I mean, everybody loves the outdoors. They use it in different ways. Like I said, we ride the outdoors and we fish. Not much of a hunter, but we enjoy seeing the deer and the elk and the turkeys and all the wildlife that's out there, and they come right to our backyard.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about town council. What do you believe that you bring to the town council that's unique, that you bring to the table whenever we're having discussions?
Yeah. How about this building? I was very involved early on when I first went on council to work. Carla Bowen and I were both real estate agents as our careers, and we got together and I was commercial, she was residential, but she has a good sense of what's going on too. But I even helped a little bit with Matt Patterson when we were looking at how to design the building and most efficient use for a business, and I was very familiar with that. So I brought that to the council. The PD building that we're currently constructing is really important too. So the thing that I bring to the council, I guess, is the fact that I listen a lot. I really try to listen to what the town and the people are saying and what they want. And my style of management is what I call the 30,000-foot view. Right. I look at the entire situation. I listen to everybody before I make a decision. I try not to be prejudiced, but or make up my mind early. Right. But, there's always a little leaning of, well, it's this way or this way. But often my mind is changed once I hear the other side. Or another side. And so I reserve judgment on those things until it's time to vote, and try to use my experience and stability, and if you want to call it wisdom, I don't know, but whatever, to make right decisions for the town. And so far, I've been pretty good at that, I think.
Good. So, you probably thought you weren't continuing on town council, and now you are continuing on. So what's the one issue in Pinetop-Lakeside that you hope to address for the betterment of the community?
Annexation.
Okay.
The town needs to grow, and it needs to grow smart. So the biggest hurdle, and I just want to say this to everybody that will listen to this, annexation by itself will not increase your property taxes. That becomes actually an issue for the town as to what we can annex. Right. Because we don't make any money. We're not on the real estate tax rolls. Right. We're not. We do not collect any property tax money from the county. we rely on tourism primarily, and sales tax. And we do get some money from the state called state shared revenue, and that's based on population. So the only way we can really increase our income for keeping the roads, keeping the police, keeping all of the services going at a nice, even, steady level is to increase the numbers of people that are on our rolls.
Right.
Now, if we get those people, now we have to take care of their roads, we have to take care of their policing, and we have lots of expenses along with that. So some areas that are highly populated part-time do not contribute to our numbers, so we can't annex them without really looking deep into it and making hard decisions on that. The country club areas, for example,
Yes.
are part of that. But that's my goal.
Okay. Finally, let's wrap up with some favorites. Favorite hiking trail?
I don't hike anymore.
Don't hike anymore.
But we use
Probably OHV, probably.
yeah, the Maverick Trail.
Oh, the Maverick Trail.
Maverick Trail is a 50-mile trail that goes from Sky High to Clay Springs. The White Mountain Open Trails Association manages the cleanup and all of that, although the Arizona Alpine Trail just participated in a cleanup because we have a grant from Waste Management to do that, so we can pay for all of that cleanup, and we do that.
Yeah. So don't be influenced by the temperature that we hit this morning because it was a little bit chilly. But what's your favorite season?
Favorite season is summer, fall, winter.
Oh,
and spring.
Oh, he likes them all. Look at that.
Yeah, there's something good about all of them. We in the wintertime we can get into any of the restaurants we want to, and I skied up until a couple of years ago, so that was nice. The fall is beautiful colors, wonderful outside.
Right.
Springtime, fish start biting. And summertime is just absolutely pandemonium here. It's we get so many people up here, and it's so nice. I can appreciate people that come up here from the valley, having lived there many years.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Once again, that's Jerry Smith, our council member here for the town of Pinetop-Lakeside, your council member. Thank you very much.